Hello and welcome everyone to the Treehouse Cares Project presentation webinar. We'll have our presenters introduce themselves today. Let's go in order.
It's me. Okay. Hi, I'm Stephanie Neal. I'm the South King County Program Manager for Graduation Success, and I am speaking to you today from the traditional lands of the Duwamish and Coast Salish people.
Hi everyone, I'm Chris Nita. I'm one of the Financial Resources Program Coordinators. Similarly, coming from the Seattle area and acknowledging the land of the Duwamish and Coast Salish people.
Thank you. Haslahale Kateri Jo Tzitsada Shorab Shud. Hi everyone, my name is Kateri Jo. I am Swinomish and Khalelt First Nations. I am the Tribal Engagement Manager here at Treehouse. And I'm coming to you from the traditional homelands of the Duwamish Coast Salish folks. Thank you all for being here today. So first, we just wanted to let you know that at the end of this presentation, there will be an FAQ and the slides will be provided in case you miss anything and you're afraid of missing any information, you'll have access to it. There'll also be recordings from our previous trainings and then from this training too on our website. Our agenda today is to learn more about the outreach strategies, our eligibility requirements or criteria, referral process, the request process, dynamics change. And dynamics change is really like the way in which the kind of internal staff navigate the referrals. Case examples, and the next steps. And at the very end, we'll have any questions answered. Throughout the presentation, if you want to go ahead and put any questions you have in the chat, we will have one of us kind of like reviewing the chat to either answer if they have the ability to, and if not, we'll go ahead and stop the presenter in order to make sure all of your questions are answered and that everything makes sense. The presentation, like we said, is going to be recorded, so that way everyone has access to it afterwards. In which case, if you would like to keep your cameras turned off, if you're not presenting, that would be fantastic. You will remain muted until after the presentation. Once we go into questions and answers, then we'll allow folks to unmute in order to ask their questions. But like I said, if you have any during the presentation, go ahead and put them in the chat and then we'll respond accordingly. Yeah. So the CARES project was allocated money from the CARES it's temporary funding that is available to us, and that Treehouse is allocating out until December 31st, 2021, or basically until it runs out, right? So the faster we're able to get those funds used, the faster it runs out. And the webinar training for the CARES project, it was done for state social workers on the 5th, and then caregivers on the 10th, and then for our tribal social workers today. And that was just to make sure that all of our presentations were really tailored to the audience, to make sure that we were able to kind of tailor and get all the appropriate information to the appropriate people. There will be written documents that will be updated, including the CARES project information. And we will continue to share communications regarding the program throughout the year and update on our website, which is treehouseforkids.org. And Stephanie will go ahead and find out who is eligible.
Hi, everyone. So I'm going to go through quickly with you first who is eligible for receiving services through the CARES Act funding, and then how to make a referral under request. So the youth that are going to be eligible for this specific pot of money are school age and post-secondary youth residing in the state of Washington. So that means K through 12 kiddos and youth who have graduated from high school. They have to be dependents of the state of Washington through DCYF, either in an out-of-home placement, and pre-K as well. Thank you, Nicole. So pre-K through 12th grade, and then youth who are graduated from high school and are in EFC. And then out-of-home care on a shelter care order is also okay. Youth who are in federal foster care, I'm sorry, excuse me, not youth who are in federal foster care, youth who are under federally recognized tribal court jurisdiction, so youth that you all work with, and then youth who are enrolled in our graduation success or launch success programs. So, and then please do, we're going to show you our website in a minute, and we update that with any changes that might be pertinent. Next slide, please, Kateri. So the referral process, in order for youth to have access to this funding, they do need a Treehouse referral. Social workers, youth and caregivers can make a program request for the CARES Act funding after they've gotten a referral to Treehouse. Youth who already have a current Treehouse referral do not need a new referral, and their eligibility will be verified through their social worker. So you all will, if you are a social worker, you may have already received eligibility verification emails from our staff about youth and making requests. Youth without a current referral, social workers will need to make that referral through our website portal, not through FamLink. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now in case you have not made a Treehouse referral before. Bear with me one moment while I share my screen. Okay. So this is our Treehouse website. I'm going to start us at the home page right when you log on to treehouseforkids.org. You're going to hover over our services and click make a referral. This is specifically for youth who don't already have a Treehouse referral. You're going to scroll on down to the bottom and you're going to click submit a referral. If you've made a referral before to Treehouse, this will look familiar to you. If you have not, you're going to need to request an account. You're going to click this button here and you're going to register for an account. If you already have submitted referrals through Treehouse before, then you're going to click login and you're going to fill out the referral form. So this is what the referral website looks like. Once you've gotten your account and you've made a referral for a youth, I'm going to take us back to the Treehouse website. You're going to hover over our services and click CARES Project. You're going to scroll down all the way to the bottom. And it does ask you the question if the person in need of services has a current Treehouse enrollment. If you click no, it's going to direct you back to making a referral, and you can get to that referral website again right here. If you have any issues making a referral, the contact information for our intake folks is here. But if your youth already has a referral, then you'll just click yes. You will click social worker if you are the social worker. And then you're going to go ahead and fill out the form with all of the information. As much information as you can give us in this form, the better, because this is how we will, the sooner that we get all this information from you all, the sooner we can process the request. So that is how you make a referral and how you make a CARES Act request. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Kateri, do you want to put the PowerPoint back on? Thanks. And so Chris is now going to walk us through what is covered under the CARES Act.
Awesome, thank you, Stephanie. Yeah, so we're really excited about what we can offer through this new temporary funding through the CARES Act. A big part of it is for paid tutoring, which we haven't been able to support as much in the past, but we're really excited to do it with this funding. Right now, we're setting the per request limit at about 12 sessions of in-person or virtual requests to whoever. So the youth caregiver, social worker, their care team is responsible for identifying the type of tutor, the tutor, and the services before submitting the request. We have some resources available on our website, which we'll show you after this or direct you after this. Also covered in this funding is academic mediation, so credit recovery, summer school. We can also support school supplies and equipment like back to school supplies and technology supports that they might need if they're continuing virtual schooling or supplies needed for re-entering the classroom. And this funding also extends to extracurricular activities, so sports, music lessons, art classes, summer camps, and things like that. So the next is the processing timeline. So most of the time, requests start with the social worker, caregiver, youth submitting the request through our website. And it can take us, currently it's taking us about 1 to 2 weeks to process requests. We are working on expanding our staffing. Expanding our staffing, so we should be able to hopefully decrease that turnaround time as we move forward. And then credit card payments are usually where we're able to make the fastest and have a turnaround time of 3 to 5 business days after processing. So we're able to make those payments either over the phone or online, as long as the information is provided in the request. Check payments can take up to an additional 3 weeks if we're going to be mailing them, just because, some delays we're having currently around the mail system, but we do submit the checks weekly and get those sent out every week. We just wanted to run through a few different scenarios. The first one is John is a 4th grade student. His teacher reports he has a lot of potential. He was not able to get online and participate in class during the first trimester, where the focus was on reading and math. The social workers submitted a request for paid tutoring for 4th grade reading and math so he can catch up to his classmates. And Treehouse had already paid for 12 sessions, but it hasn't been enough for him to catch up. If the social worker submitted another request, Treehouse would be able to pay for an additional 12 sessions. This is really just to highlight that per request, our limit is 12 sessions, but we can continue to make those payments if the initial 12 weren't enough at the time. A second scenario is Savannah is an 8th grader who missed a lot of school last year. Her caregiver submits a request through the Treehouse website for math. The caregiver already has a tutor in mind since another child in the home received tutoring. The caregiver provides the payment information and all the necessary details. Just-in-time funding staff process the request and make the payments to the tutoring program. This is just to highlight that caregivers are able to submit those requests on their own and provide those details, and to highlight them sharing their own or sharing the tutor information that they are aware of. Scenario 3 is George is a junior in high school. He's extremely behind on credits as he missed a lot of school due to being on the run or not having stable placement. The social worker meets with George, the caregiver, and the school counselor. They explore credit retrieval options for the summer, but George is needing help to bring his current grades up. The social worker offers to submit a funding request for a tutor. The caregiver reaches or researches which tutor is close to their home and sends the information to Just Time Funding so they can submit the requests. Again, just to highlight that, yeah, this is a full team effort to try to get our youth enrolled in tutoring and trying to get them caught up. The fourth scenario is Nico is receiving private tutoring and has helped him get his grades up as well as getting all his assignments in. Nico is no longer at their previous caregiver's home though, and is no longer receiving private tutoring. The social worker submits a funding request on the Treehouse website. Treehouse can now pay for these private tutoring lessons. This is just to highlight that we can provide funding for tutoring, like the larger company tutoring services, things like Sylvan, Kumon, those sorts of services, but we can also provide funding for individual tutors and private tutoring as well.
Thank you, Chris. So the next slide we're going to go through is just basically what are some of the free tutoring options that are currently available. Let me turn my camera. Sorry. So these are we have it broken down by regions. So for Region 1, there's the Spokane Public School or Public Libraries and the Northwest Libraries. Region 3 is the Snow Island Library. So basically most libraries, most public library systems have availability to do some free tutoring. If your student does not have a library card or their library does not offer free tutoring, then they can request a library card online, which is a new and exciting thing, being able to still have access to the library and all of the resources that are available online. You can also use an iFoster account for tutoring.com, which is a shared e-card and PIN. There's also links and instructions available on the Treehouse website and the Resource Center for that's where we're going to be updating, new resources. But also, like Chris was explaining too, if you have a place that like a resource for tutoring that we can kind of like add to our database, that would be something that you could put in for the requests too. And it could also be, if you have like a student who is who's doing really, really well and has the ability to tutor like a younger classman, that also might be an opportunity for them to get a little extra cash while also being able to tutor a mentor. They're just the requirements of being a background check, and all the instructions are on our website. At this time, feel free to unmute yourself or type a question in the chat for any specific questions, and we're going to go ahead and stop the recording so that way you have the ability to ask questions.